I have my guests in the studio. I have Victor Kojoga Dawudu. He's a legal practitioner. He's a member of the NDC, a member of the NDC's legal team as well. And thanks for joining me, Victor. You're going to the court today, aren't you?
Definitely.
Well, because you look well dressed for it. It's a Friday. Usually we'll be in our Friday wear. So
yeah.
Lawyers, dear, somewhere. But somebody who is also one of the dear is always busy. He's an entrepreneur in his own right. He's also a doctoral researcher at University of Ghana Business School, and also contested in the last executive elections of the MPP for the first vice chairmanship position of the party. And Fred Amankwasafo is my other guest. Thanks for joining me, Fred.
Thank you for having me.
You're looking very Indian today.
Oh, thank you so much.
Shukaraya. Namaste.
Yes.
Well, but we know the most topical of the issues today is what transpired late in Parliament. It's about the bribery allegations that were leveled against the chairman of the Appointments Committee, but the chairman thought something was not right, so he decided to petition the Speaker. And we know what the Ghartey-led committee said in its final report. Your comments?
Thank you very much, and good morning to our viewers. Good morning to my co-host. I remember when the issue first came up, I was here with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
And I said that, I mean, it was not possible that Honorable Bacha Japon had actually attempted to bribe members of the appointment committee. And I think that the Ghartey-led committee had exonerated the accused, and I'm happy for it. What I'm not comfortable with is the posture of Ayariga himself. I mean, we all humans, we all can make mistakes, and we have realized that we made mistakes. We should apologize unreservedly and go on. But to sort to make the impression that it is because the Speaker is asking that you should apologize. Okay, if you're asking me to apologize, then I'm apologizing. It means that you are insisting that you are not guilty. And for me, it still gives some shade over the whole scandal, and the reputation and dignity of Parliament is still questionable, because though the committee had come out to exonerate these people.
These are just your initial comments.
Yes,
You seem to be going into the issue.
We still have some more questions.
Before lawyer Victor Kojoga Dawudu speaks, though, let's go to Parliament and get our soundbite, and then we'll come back for his initial comment. Then we'll go to the issues which Mr. Fred Amankwasafo is itching for.
Mr. Speaker, cannot therefore rely on the hearsay evidence mentioning two mystery members of the Appointments Committee. Mr. Speaker, in the circumstance, with regards to the first issue or term of reference, which is to establish whether First Deputy Speaker, Mr. Joseph Osei-Wusu, took money from the Energy Minister, Mr. Bwacha Ajako, and gave it to the Minority Chief Whip, Honorable Alhaji Mohammed Mubarak Mutaka, to be distributed to the members of the Appointments Committee, the committee is unanimous that there is no evidence that Honorable Bwacha Ajako gave money to the Honorable Joe Osei-Wusu to bribe members of the Appointments Committee. Furthermore, there is no evidence that this committee can rely on to lead it to the conclusion that Honorable Joe Osei-Wusu gave money to Honorable Mohammed Mutaka for the purposes of bribing the members of the Appointments Committee or for any other purpose at all. Mr. Speaker, your committee is of the view that a multiplicity of rumors does not metamorphosize a rumor into a fact.
Ayariga, if he so pleases, may stand in his place, render the withdrawal and apology. Whereafter, I'll proceed from there.
Mr. Speaker, just like I have every intention to show you utmost respect and act according to your directives. But I'll do myself grave injustice if in rendering the apology I do not point out certain matters that I also feel are important for you to advert your mind to. Mr. Speaker, in the first place, you set up a committee pursuant to Order 191. First legal question is, does that committee have the power to come to conclusions relating to matters of contempt? Does it have the power? You set it up to find facts and report the facts to you. Does it have the power to come to conclusions on matters of contempt which are clearly spelled out in Order 30, 31, and 32? Facts, not to conclude on contempt, because the issues of contempt are clearly defined in the standing orders. And so that is the first thing that I just wanted to advert your mind to, whether the committee can make findings and come to a conclusion that the provisions of contempt have been violated. That's the first question. Mr. Speaker, the second question is, they use criminal standards determining the burden of proof. Mr. Speaker, if you conclude that you want to use the criminal standard, then you might as well have, during the proceedings, used the criminal process. What is the criminal process? If you call a witness in any criminal trial, he should also cross-examine the other side, so that you can come to the conclusion that will enable you to exact criminal sanctions. You didn't do that. Mr. Speaker, if you say I should apologize, I apologize.
I guess that sets the tone for the legal practitioner in our midst to have his initial or preliminary comments. Just about a minute, please.
Roland.
We're not going to.
Good morning to our cherished listeners.
Good morning to you.
If and everybody, my panelists, if I will have to say my initial comment, this is a charade. It's a sham. Just to insulate Parliament and the leadership from what has happened.
Okay. I see. Now, we know that initially when this happened, it created a certain fury. Do you think that from what happened, the initial comment of the accusation that was started on a radio station, Radio Gold here in Accra, and then got into the court of public opinion, and ultimately the conclusion of the committee, do you think really ends the matter?
No, it didn't. Unfortunately, it didn't. My friend sought to argue that the whole issue is a charade, and it sought to insulate Parliament from the disgrace that such accusation would have brought. But I think it's still vague. The issue of trying to insulate Parliament has not succeeded. It hasn't succeeded at all. And when the issue broke up, I was here on the set with him, and I said that I would not recommend that Parliament set up a committee to investigate itself. And I'm afraid that is what it seems to be panning out. We should have an independent investigating team to go into the matter. Now, Ayariga has raised issues. For me, if the right of one individual is trampled upon, it is the same as the society's rights has been trampled upon. So Ayariga is in his right frame to say that, look, if you are going to go into fact-finding, go into the fact-finding and submit your report, and then let somebody else pick it up and then say, okay, for the fact that we have at our disposal, this is what we are going to do. Now, there was no cross-examination from what he's saying. If what he's saying is true, I wasn't part of the committee. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened.
It was a public event.
I didn't follow. I didn't follow that.
It's not a public event per se, but it was, at least we were given an audience.
Yeah, you were. I didn't follow that. Okay. But all I'm saying is that if what Ayariga is saying, and he said on the floor of Parliament that he wasn't allowed to cross-examine the accused, then we have not concluded on the issue. And the attempt, if I should go by your word, the attempt to insulate Parliament from the disgrace is still pending. I still do not think that Honorable Boachajakun gave anything, but that is a belief. The facts should come out clearly.
Based on the fact that you know the man and you know
I know the man very well, and I know that I cannot advance any reason why he would do that. We have majority.
Why
majority.
not?
We have majority in Parliament.
Why not?
We have majority in Parliament. If it comes to the shove, what happens? We would have to put it to vote. So why would I have to bribe somebody? Then bribery is a criminal offense. Somebody who would have to go to jail if he attempted to bribe anybody. So this is not a tea party. This is not something as a nation we should just gloss over it. I think that the committee, the Ghartey committee had done an excellent job, but it is not completed yet. We should go back and make sure that we purge Parliament from such disgrace. I am not convinced, I am not satisfied that we are here, and Ayariga's right, from what he's saying, Ayariga's right has not been protected. And so Boachajakun's rights and the other accused, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament and the
first Deputy
the first Speaker of Parliament, the minority chief whip, all these people whose name.
So you're saying that just makes the issue murkier?
It is. It has made the issue murkier, and we have to go back.
Once you feel that our Minister of Energy really would not do something like that, but then the decision to make Parliament investigate itself, or perhaps fact-find itself, doesn't do him justice.
Exactly. You see, there's a form and there's a substance. The form and the substance. The form and the substance. The form might be okay, but what is the substance in here? We have not been. The form and the substance must all come together to make sure that.
That's doctoral fact.
Roland, yes, the committee has done an excellent job to insulate itself from the embarrassment that Parliament has seen itself in, right from the allegations that had started till this, and the terms of reference that are given. Listen, knowing what I know, and knowing Ayariga as a person, as a Harvard-trained lawyer, and a person who has conscience, who believes in what Ayariga will have fought back. That is why he says, if you say I should apologize, I have the utmost respect for this house, I will do that. But there are question marks. For me, it is a sad day for democracy, in the sense that all that they try to do is that Parliament should always build consensus. Minority, majority should always build consensus. So in trying to build consensus, let's have a good rapport. Even when something is wrong and it's been pointed out, but somebody who believes this is what had happened, now we say he's in contempt of Parliament. That would tell you that we will never hear anything wrong being done in Parliament again. Nobody would come out and come and say, this is what is going on here, and we think it is wrong.
Why not?
No, because when you say it to insulate Parliament and keep the dignity and the sanctity of Parliament intact, nobody would want to risk it. Nobody would want to risk it. There are two honorable members who also, Ablakwa and Suini, they also spoke. But what did we hear when the report was made? I'm sure when the report is made available, put in public.
They didn't speak in public. Suhini, for example, was not made to appear before.
No. You see,
Ablakwa only was made to appear because the accused, or the one who brought the petition before the speaker. Okay.
There were three people who took the petition.
Yes, but one's petition was accepted. That's the chairman, that's the chairman of the committee.
Now, even within their own standing orders, when it comes to a committee, the committee can adopt where you can cross-examine each other. Why did they said they will not allow, because it's a fact finding, they will not allow people to cross-examine the accusers. Parliament is a master of its own procedure. Yes, it's agreed. But if you are talking about the rights of others, things that had happened, and you want to ascertain the veracity of the matter, then you want to adopt that it should be a memorandum and others. When people, Parliament is a huge institution. We've had so many issues. What happened to the people? PC appear for when all of them this. What did we see at the end of the day? They were marginalized. What goes on in Parliament? A lot of things go on in Parliament, and if you are vociferous or you want to point out the ills or things that go on, you might be at the wrong side. You might be marginalized. It's a society, I agree. Parliament will be the microcosm of what society. When you want to speak the truth, sometimes you become the enemy of society. When you want to right the wrongs of society, it is tough.
Okay.
And why will the committee in recommending will say that when the first deputy speaker has a constitutional right to go to court, they are recommending that the speaker should not allow that any member of parliament should be served.
Well, that's the leadership.
The leadership, yes, why?
The leadership.
Why? So is it that, there are a lot of things about this committee report.
But for all the things that you're saying, before I get to Fred, the gentleman, who is a member of parliament for Bako Central, appeared before the committee. It was a public event. Well, I wouldn't say a public event in a way. It was broadcast to the public. At the end of the day, if he had serious evidence to put before the committee, he would have, and everybody within the public sphere would have known that really you had a point to raise concerns about a nominee who appears before the appointment committee of which you are a member, and you purport to claim that that nominee may have given some money to your leadership at the end of the day for which you may have received coming from him. He was not able to prove that, was he?
No. Roland, you see, if that's why the burden of proof, as the committee rightly has said, that if you want to see the burden of proof as laid down by the evidence decree, right, there is a procedure. You don't adopt one procedure, leave one, choose and pick. So why didn't they call his witnesses, people who were there, witnesses, who said that they were ready to assist? Only comes and say that, yeah, with true invitation to the members of the committee, they did not avail themselves to that right. So, because nobody availed himself to that right, then that means that there was no evidence. I don't have any qualms with them, but what they have done will go a long way.
It's true. You never know. One day you may become a member of parliament.
No. Why not?
So just keep mute.
It will go a long way, and the trust and the confidence that people repose in that institution, right, it will win.
But at the end of the day, we know that there are individuals involved. Ayariga himself, member of parliament for Bako Central, is one individual. The Minister of Energy, who at the time was a nominee, appeared before. And then the two others, as well as the chairman of the committee. They had their integrity at stake. Perhaps, do you think Parliament could have better done this to exonerate or, in a way, clean everybody from whether having a loose, hanging, tarnished reputation somehow?
I am worried. I am worried, one, because the Ghartey committee seems to have made very important findings. And so, yes, we still have come to a point where there's no agreement. I don't see us having an agreement on the issue that
you don't think anybody is a winner at all?
No, we are not. There's no winner here.
How about the committee's proceedings and following its report and outcome, now giving an indication that the chairman, after all, was not in any way at the end of or at the beginning of any chain of bribe givers?
Yes, he might not be, and I have no doubt about that. he's not in. Ayariga is a lawyer. You are a lawyer as well. I'm not a lawyer. But you see, it's all about evidence and facts. Okay, and so the procedures must be followed to the letter. If we keep the issue as it is now, we are both not satisfied. Ayariga is definitely not satisfied, and I'm sure my good friend is not satisfied. And for me, I would expect that my government, the majority, the parliament, my minister of energy, and all the people whose names have been bandied around are exonerated without question.
Well, the report comes with a certain conclusion.
See, the report comes. I was expecting Ayariga to make the statement he made on the floor of parliament to the committee, and then now come to say that I made this recommendation to the committee, or I raised these concerns to the committee, and this was their response. But he didn't do it. He's waited.
Have you ever listened to Mahama Ayariga when he ever appeared before the committee?
No.
Okay.
No.
When he appeared before the committee, I wish that we could have played the tape. We can't trace it now. But when he appeared before the committee, he was asked. He said, what he said on Radio Gold was as a result of what he had been told by his minority chief whip, which is Alhaji Muntaka Mubarak, that what he was being handed was from this individual, from so and so, from the leadership, etc. That really doesn't give any. It's basically circumstantial, in my lay opinion.
And you see, it's two people speaking. These are somebody must collaborate. And Muntaka said he hadn't said that. He had not given you any money, and said that this money is coming from Honorable Bache Jakun to influence you to accept his nomination. Okay, so the protagonists are not showing us enough good faith. We still do not have all the evidence assembled, and so the issue is still hanging.
Okay, now let's get this sound up as to after what transpired. It seemed to have some bickering taking place on the floor, and I hear there were finger pointing and some subtle accusations. You see, heckling and etc. Who is that? You see, that's Sam George, right?
Yeah. And
wow.
Barilla, are you surprised?
What do you make of this, Fred?
Sad. It's so sad. It's so sad that we have honorable members, and if we do not agree on some issue, it should degenerate into.
But it's not peculiar to Ghana. We've seen. I've seen tapes in Korea, from Korea and Japan, South Africa,
Kenya.
Yeah, I've even seen one of the Balkan states. Yeah.
Well, I'm interested in what is happening in my country, and so if it is not peculiar to Ghana, we should not say that because it's not peculiar. We should be happy about it. If it is wrong, it is wrong. I think that for whatever it is, there's no point in having such arguments and finger pointing. And I'm sure that if
because this is life.
Yes, if people are not being restrained, we could have blows thrown in Parliament.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to you. It matters to me.
It is. Let's condemn what had happened.
If you
just let
if you're condemning and you take at the same breath, it doesn't matter, then you are speaking from both sides of your mouth.
No.
Double standard.
It's not double standard.
Yeah, because it's condemnable, and yet it doesn't matter. What doesn't matter? Something that doesn't matter should not be condemned.
Okay.
Listen, we've had Parliament from 1993 till date. On which occasion have you seen things like this happen?
This occasion.
This is the first time that this had happened.
So it matters.
Hasn't issues cropped up?
For which perhaps maybe tempest
Which-
could have boiled them.
Yes.
Okay.
This did not happen. Why is it that only this incident would make people react this way? We need to find out. Not just come and condemn it and say that because Tempest fled and there was some skirmishes. Yes, we are Ghanaians. It happens in Nigeria. Are they not people with blood? It happens in South Africa. Don't they have blood in them? What is the reason why this happened?
We spoke to we spoke to an expert this morning, Dr. Rashid Rahman, and
yes.
he said that from the posture and from the way the minority members were reacting, they seem to have a divided front, and that's not good for parliamentary practice for the next 4 years.
I don't think so. It is a conspiracy.
You don't think they have a divided front?
No, the minority don't have a divided front. I don't think so.
They are not divided?
They are not divided. Minority is working based.
Did you listen to the proceedings yesterday, Mr. Victor Adaudu?
I listened.
Okay. Did you listen to the minority leader's conclusive remarks?
I listened.
What do you make of it?
I listened to Pat. Listen, minority is not divided. What the minority operates is to allow everybody to vent, to say what they want. The minority is not against dissent and says that, no, let everybody speak. At the end of the day, what the minority leader would override what the people say. It is better than to say that we are the leadership in minority, so we will not allow the backbenchers among us to speak. Everybody is given the opportunity to say it, but at the end of the day, that's why we have the whips, would say, this is the line, this is party discipline.
And it looks as if we have a member of parliament who doesn't want to be whipped in line. No. He wants to go outside of the periphery.
No, that is why in every party there is a party discipline. There is a line you don't cross. Did
the party have a certain opinion before perhaps the minority decide to take a different opinion as far as the leadership is?
No, I think the party is yet to take a decision on that. I'm not privy. The party hasn't taken any position on this matter.
If you say
this matter, yes.
If you say so.
That's what I know is what I'm telling you. That
if you say so.
Yes, the party as NDC has not taken any position on this matter.
I have 8 more minutes for us to conclude our discussions on all this.
Yes,
but
so yes, it was not right that this happened. But at the end of the day, I always say that you go to places when you think you've not had justice. Justice has not been served, right? People, tempers flare, there's provocation. And I'm saying that, listen, this was done to insulate Parliament. And I'm sure, right, knowing what had happened in there, people are not happy.
Let's listen or watch the minority leader, Haruna Idrisu.
Mr. Speaker, you will immediately recall in my submission, even though the rules provide that when you speak on a motion, you would not have an opportunity to speak on the same motion. I served you notice that I wanted to hear what the majority leader will say to the report. Having listened to him, Mr. Speaker, and even as provided by the committee's recommendations and conclusions, Mr. Speaker, even though the standing orders provide the process for rendering an apology, the Honorable Ayariga is a member of Parliament. And Mr. Speaker, I should request you, on the heels of what the majority leader suggested, that you probably give him an opportunity wherever he is as a member of Parliament to respond to the committee's report, rather than want to treat him like any other ordinary person. And Mr. Speaker, as was rightly pointed,
Well, what does he tell you?
Yes, he says that there is a procedure when you want to render an apology. However, he has few issues with the report, and he is asking the leave or the permission from the speaker to allow him vent what he thinks the report has not been dealt with or did not deal with him rightly. He's giving an opportunity. Are you getting it? This does not mean that the minority is divided. That's why I said that minority will not want that there should not be dissent within parliament. Everybody speaks, but at the end of the day, every parliamentarian within the minority caucus knows that this is our leadership, and what the leadership says after all the discussion, leadership says is the final. Everybody would doff out his hat for the leadership of minority, what Haruna and others are doing. But that does not mean that they would sit on you and say that don't air your grievances or what you feel. When you strongly feel about something that is not right, you cannot air it.
Your conclusive remarks on this subject?
Well, I would go back to what I said when the issue first cropped up, that Parliament should not investigate itself. And this report is not going to insulate Parliament in any way. And my worry is that the allegations against honorable members of Parliament and the member of government, the Minister of Energy, the issue is still hanging. I would still recommend that we have an independent inquiry into the issue. If Parliament has done its job, let an independent inquiry go into the issue and bring out the facts and the recommendation, because we are still where we started, and now we are having blows in Parliament, and we are being told that it is normal, or even if it is normal, it happened in Nigeria, it happened in Korea, it happened. I just can't decipher why we are quick to compare things that are not so good. Why don't we compare the industrialization of Korea to our country?
Roland, I think he's getting apples with oranges.
Don't. Let me finish my point. We should go back to the table and reinvestigate the issue so that we can clear our Parliament from
only 2 minutes.
Yeah, Roland, I think that for me, let's find the cause of the agitation. What made this? When we get to know, we'll say, no more should this ever happen. Since 93, we never saw this. This is the first time we saw this. We should not just condemn it. Let's find out what happened. Let everybody know that, look, this is what happened. We don't want it to ever happen in our Parliament again. 2, for me, what has been done, the best people to judge will be society. That will judge Parliament, will judge the people. They will leave it. Even if we go for any other committee, you cannot compel somebody to come and speak. And how it has gone, I don't think any member of Parliament, any person would on his own volition say that I'm going to another independent committee to speak and say this. Let's leave it. This report was, if it will stand the test of time, it will be there. It will be in public domain.
What was you said, facade or charade?
I said it's a sham.
It's a sham. It's a charade. It's a facade.
Yeah, that is what for me. That's
anyway,
how I see.
That'll be it for our discussions this morning, and we have a part 2 of this conversation with a member of Parliament. But you know, we have a new governor of the Bank of Ghana.
Yeah, yes. Dr. Addison. Yes, I wish him all the best.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, I think that the previous governor was also doing his best. He's done his best for this nation, and since he himself decided to resign, that should be.
I congratulate him. I'm happy for him. For what I know about him, I think we have the best man to take charge of.
He's the best man.
Yes.
I hear government almost hounded the old one out.
He resigned.
Okay.
That is
Fred Amankwasafo is a doctoral research candidate with the University of Ghana Business School. He's also an entrepreneur, but also in the last executive elections of the New Patriotic Party, contested for the first vice chairmanship position of the party. I think he should be interested in that position again in the next executive elections of the NPP. Thanks for joining me, Fred Amankwasafo.
Thank you so much.
And also I've had in the studio controversial, both of them being controversial this morning, and the controversial lawyer, Victor Kojoga Adawudu, seemingly would have been very cool, but this time not on the issue of what transpired in Parliament over the last 8-9 hours ago. Well, thanks for joining me.
It's a pleasure.
All right, so we're taking a break, but you know, we're doing the discussions because we have special money movement we've been doing since the beginning of the year. Is the end of the first quarter, and we are saying that you need to save. Whether in the piggy bank or wherever. But it's not that type of investment we're talking about. As an individual, how do you invest? And that's what we're talking about. We're opening our Susu box or the piggy bank, and then we're putting in place a new one. And we hope that you will enjoy that conversation with Mama View Uswabwaje. It's all up next. Do stay up.